Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching the Election Premier League here on Times Now with me, Meghna Deka. Well, the story of the cover-up in the Pune Porsche horror case has now been exposed. Well, according to the Pune police, there was an attempt being made by the minor accused's father to try and pin the entire blame for the accident on the family's driver. Can you believe it? To shield his son, he was about to sacrifice his driver. A case has now been registered against the father under IPC section 210 for tampering with evidence and trying to destroy the evidence. Now remember, Times Now was the first channel to have broken the news that there was an attempt to frame the family driver to try and save the teenage son who rammed his Porsche into two people, killing them instantly. Now, what has also raised questions is the delay in the collection of the blood samples. Well, the crash took place at about 2:30 a.m. early morning. But the boy's blood alcohol test was conducted only at 11 a.m., which is 8 hours later. The second sample was taken at around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., which means that there was a delay of another 6 to 7 more hours. But the Pune police says that their case, if not dependent on the blood report alone, as there are other evidence as well, not just the tox screen. In fact, the Pune police commissioner has stated that the minor accused was in his senses and had full knowledge that due to his own conduct, the death of two young people did happen. Listen in.
त्याचे विषयी आवश्यक एव्हिडन्स आणि ते एव्हिडन्स टेक्निकल एव्हिडन्स आणि त्या प्रकरणात कोणी एव्हिडन्स नाश करायची प्रयत्न केला का हे सर्व गोष्टीवर ते एसीपी दर्जाचे अधिकारी त्या प्रकरणाची तपास करत आहे की ही पूर्णपणे इन सेन्सेस यांचे करून ही कंडक्ट झालेली आहे जे कल्पेबल होमिसाइड नॉट अमाउंटिंग टू मर्डर आहे ज्यामध्ये 10 वर्षाची शिक्षा आणि नॉन बेलेबल स्वरूपाचे केस आहे की त्या काळात काही घटनाक्रम जेनेवर ड्रायव्हर बदलण्याची प्रयत्न करण्यात आली होती ही गोष्टी समोर आलेली आहे. माननीय आमदार महोदय जे पब्लिक रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह आहे ते पोलीस स्टेशनला आले होते का ते पोलीस स्टेशनला आले होते ही इट इज अ मॅटर ऑफ रेकॉर्ड, इट इज अ मॅटर ऑफ फॅक्ट. यामध्ये कोणताही दोन मत नाही आहे.
Well, in fact, let me also tell you what happened after this. In fact, a special police team has now been formed to probe the lapses on the part of the local police in the initial inquiry into the matter. In fact, following this, an ACP-level officer has also been appointed to check the allegations against the police officers of the local Yerwara police station. Now, the special inquiry team has seized the CCTV from the accident site as well, from the pub as well as the police station, and they will be going through them to check if there were any discrepancies in the initial probe as well. In fact, Times Now has learned that after the incident, the assistant police inspector and the police inspector from the Yerwara police station had indeed reached the spot of the accident, but they did not inform the wireless control room about this incident. They had informed the control room. The night round DCP would have been alerted, but the inspectors didn't do that. Well, it was only in early morning that senior police officers learned about this incident. Now, this is the biggest lapse on account of the inspectors. Well, Times Now has also spoken to the night round DCP who was in charge of the area, and he too confirms that the information was not relayed to him.
सर, आप उस दिन नाइट राउंड में थे, खाली क्वेश्चन जानना है. क्या ये बात सही कि आपको जानकारी नहीं मिली?
जस्ट अ मिनट.
क्या वायरलेस कंट्रोल में कॉल नहीं गया तो आपको जानकारी नहीं मिली थी? बात सच?
हाँ, मुझे उस टाइम जानकारी नहीं.
आप नाइट राउंड में थे?
या आई वाज
संडे को.
यस यस.
तो जानकारी सीनियर पीआई ने दी नहीं?
हाँ, उस टाइम नहीं थी. आई वाज बिजी. द खड़क में एक फायरिंग का कुछ इशू हुआ था, तो आई वाज ओवर देयर.
लेकिन नॉर्मली दिया जाना चाहिए ऐसा आपको लगता है कि वायरलेस
नॉर्मली देनी चाहिए?
Meanwhile, minor accused's father and the other accused have been remanded to judicial custody till the 7th of June. In fact, the court has held that no further custodial interrogation of the accused father is required, as his mobile phone had been seized and it was for the cops to now carry out further investigation. Now, while the police probes if there was any evidence tampering, our team confronted the grandfather of the accused. He claims that he is going to cooperate and has been doing that. Listen in.
We are fully cooperating to the investigation of the police, Pune Police, who is one of the best in India. And they are doing their job very perfectly, very precisely.
आई विटनेस को आप लोगों ने मैनेज करने की कोशिश की थी, ऐसा भी आगे
सही बात है सर। आई विटनेस को आपने पैसे के दम पे मैनेज किया है सर। डराया धमकाया ऐसा कुछ था सर?
सब गलत है, सब गलत है।
आपका छोटा राजन के साथ संबंध है, वो भी आरोप लगा।
But meanwhile, there is also no end to the politics over the incident. In fact, opposition now continues to corner the government over the lapses which they allege have happened in the case. The BJP has rubbished all the charges of opposition and said that all these attempts were being made to ensure stringent punishment for the accused. In fact, there was even a protest which was staged by the NCP. This is the Sharad Pawar faction against illegalities, as they call it, of the pubs as well. Watch this.
प्रकरण है उसमें पुलिस अधिकारी, तपास अधिकारी और डिफॉल्टर है, तो उसके ऊपर केस दर्ज होना चाहिए। वो जो घटना है वो फास्ट ट्रैक में लेके वो जो गुजर गए उनको
इंसाफ मिलना चाहिए।
इंसाफ मिलना। पुलिस कमिश्नर है, उनको सब कुछ मालूम है और उन्हें इस्तीफा देके यहाँ से बदली होना चाहिए। थोड़ी देर बैठने वाला है, उनको समझना चाहिए पुणे के लोग रोड पे आए।
याचं राजकीयकरण करण्याचा प्रयत्न त्यांचा चाललेला आहे। या संदर्भात जी काही कारवाई पोलिसांनी केली पाहिजे ती सगळी पोलिसांनी उघडपणे केलेली आहे। आणि एवढंच नाही तर ज्युव्हेनाइल जस्टिस बोर्डने जो चुकीचा निर्णय दिला होता त्याच्या विरोधात वरच्या कोर्टात जाऊन पुन्हा ज्युव्हेनाइल जस्टिस बोर्डाकडे ती केस रिमांड करून घेऊन तो निर्णय देखील बदललेला आहे।
So let me go across. Joining us today, Swapnil Kothari, a senior lawyer. Also joining us, Nirmal Kaul, a former IPS officer. Mr. Nirmal Kaul, I'm going to come to you because, ma'am, I'll come to you because we need to first put all of this into context. If we see that there are so many at different levels, you had an NCP MLA who reached the spot at 3 a.m. There are eyewitnesses who are saying that they had been coerced. They were even tried to be bought off by the family. Then there are allegations that the driver was being framed. Then, of course, you have several other discrepancies like why was the blood sample first collected at 8 a.m., about 8 hours later than when the accident had really happened. Do you think that botch-ups at this level of the investigation could hamper the case?
See, this is the case of a very high-profile, very rich man's son, who's 17 years and a few months, almost 18, and who's trying to hide behind the juvenile justice provisions of the juvenile protection provided by Juvenile Justice Act to children who are in need of care and protection. But he obviously is not in need of care and protection. So JJ Act, because after Nirbhaya now there's that provision that between 16 and 18, children who are, so-called children as defined by the JJ Act, who have done some heinous crime, they can be tried as an adult. So this is a fit case for that. This boy who has hit and killed these two people, hit the unregistered Porsche, he should be tried as an adult. I am sure all efforts are on way to do that. And the MLA turning up, it's the case of a very capable person. Samarth ko nahi dosh kusai. The people seem to be very able and they want to protect their child and they are trying to buy up all kinds of witnesses or trying to, say that he was not even at the wheel of the car. So all kinds of things are being managed so that, they get some legal loopholes and somehow get bail or, 15 years it will take for the case to try on. We've seen in the past that Salman Khan case and many other high-profile cases like that. Takes years and years for the courts to, try those cases, and by then the evidence is either purchased or, something already happened. It diminishes its value. The whatever there is there in the public memory today. 15 years from today, it will not be the same anguish or the same resentment or the same anger. It'll go because right now memory is fresh. So the case has been definitely blood sample again, delay in taking blood samples. That itself is a very sad thing. Blood samples should have been taken immediately. Absolutely. But if because the alcohol test, if it comes zero, then perhaps culpable homicide will be difficult to, prove. It Section 304 IPC. And but of course, under the MV Act, even the father is liable because he gave his car. MV Act that is there, and under the Juvenile Justice Act also, the guardian is liable. And I think the case is quite shut and tight in my view. Still, if there is an if it can be wrapped up fine quickly and brought to prosecution, that is what is needed. The case should be immediately tried and punishment meted out. The investigation has to be quickly done. Not much left to investigate there. But the more the delay in investigation, the more these attempts to bypass justice or to manipulate justice by either saying that the boy was not even driving and things like that. Many things will come and many of these errors will creep in if there's the
Absolutely. You made a very relevant point there that the longer the trial takes, the more chances are that there are other variables which may come into play. Swapnil Kothari, how do you view this case? Do you think it's going to stand to the muster of law in a court?
If the investigation is conducted properly from henceforth, from the time that the media attention has been tremendous and more so the media pressure, and if all goes well, then definitely this case will stand the test of the legal scrutiny. Section 304 IPC should have been levied in the first place itself and not after the media pressure, because that time the Juvenile Justice Board would not have had the chance to give him bail. Nevertheless, within a day, the bail got cancelled within a day or two. So that error has been rectified because it was a very laughable judgment, 300-word essay and, some community service and all of those things for killing 2 people. But now that's over and done and dusted with. Most importantly, now the application of the police to treat this juvenile as an adult because a heinous crime has been committed should be allowed and should be accepted by the JJB panel, because that will be proper justice, because he's obviously just 4 months short of 18 years of age. He should not have been behind the wheels. He knows exactly what is it or what it is for people to lose lives. Maybe an 11-year-old would not know what it is to lose someone, a loved one or anything of that sort, but a 17-year-old definitely would know at 17 years and 8 months, because within 4 months hence he would be allowed to vote. If he knows which leader to choose for the country, obviously he knows what it is to lose a loved one. So given the fact that he's being treated, he should be treated as an adult. So then the father is on the dock as well as Section 204 for tampering with the evidence. And of course, what about 120B, conspiracy? Why not that? Because I would say that, or even abetment to crime for that matter, because in a way, you are an accessory after the fact. Or
is there a fit case for abetment to crime as well? Swapnil Kothari, you think there is enough sufficient evidence at this point to even get the father for abetment to this crime of murder?
See, there's no harm in putting up, Meghna, there's no harm in putting up a section. It's always better to put up a section. You may not able to prove it fully, but if you have a conspectus of 3-4 sections, somewhere the liability will be hinged. Why am I saying abetment? The reason is if you've tampered with the evidence, then you have abetted the crime. It's logical, because without abetting something, you don't tamper with the evidence. So if these two go hand in hand, then of course, at the same time, I wouldn't say conspiracy may be a little difficult to prove, because obviously, the father never envisaged that if my son goes for a romp at 2:15 a.m. in the morning, he's going to kill people. He must have thought that, okay, he's going to come back within an hour or so. But so a conspiracy may prove a little difficult, but abetment, yes, because you're an accessory after the fact. You try to tamper with the evidence. You try to show that it was a driver who was sitting at the wheels and not the son. So all those things will come into play. Now, what my suggestion, Meghna, is that I'm sure that the Pune police knows this, that with the media pressure and all of those things, keep this trial a fast-track trial. Do not try to delay this, because public memory is short. Once 6 months pass and we don't talk about this in the media, then, this case will dwindle out or fizzle away, just as many other cases have. So the thing is that let's keep the heat on, as they say, and then let's let the media take, stock of the situation every day, maybe every week now, as the case proceeds. Most importantly, he's to be treated as an adult, fast track court, investigate the driver. The father, of course, obviously he's behind custody and in custody rather behind bars. And then at the same time, also examine the grandfather, ask him questions. If there is any interplay by him in this manner, and then take this case to its logical conclusion. I see it it should be very facile.
Case for the accused to be tried as an adult. This is what a former IPS officer, this is what a very senior advocate have said. Despite the lapses which may have happened in the past, from here onwards, there is enough time to fix it because the evidence seems to be solid enough in this case. Thank you so much, Swapnil Kothari, for joining us, as well as Nirmal Kaur. This is going to be one of the top focus stories here on Times Now. For the timing, however, a short break. Don't go anywhere.